A November to remember, looking at some headlines, Republicans may have the edge right now, but Politico maestro Larry Sabato says history shows things can change. What right now could possibly change for Republicans? I mean, we have a lot of months, as you say, Larry, but they have counted their chickens before they hatch, as have Democrats in the past. What changes?
Well, look, I'm very cautious. You know that, Neil, and
Yes,
you've
indeed.
encouraged me to be cautious over the years. But
Just
beyond
because
that, I'll
that
tell you what the
caution
crystal
means
ball
that you keep winning bets is no reason to think that I should start using caution, young man. But go ahead.
and I hope to win another one this November. But look, I'll tell you what the crystal ball can't predict. We cannot predict the next gaffe that comes out of some candidate's mouth.
Right.
We can't predict indictments. We can't predict acts of God. You know, there are loads of things that can happen. This is early July. The election is in early November. Right now, I don't see anything that could keep Republicans from gaining seats in both houses. I think they're likely to gain Senate seats, likely to gain House seats. But of course, the question is how many. In the House, it doesn't matter. In the Senate, right now, we've got them picking up 4. They need 6. Can they get the 6? Sure, they could go well beyond 6. But we don't have enough evidence, enough proof to say for sure.
All right. Now, normally what hurts it for Republicans at a midterm is when they do get a little ahead of themselves, or as we discovered in 2012, some of their candidates implode. There's no evidence of that just yet. It could happen, like you say, but if they keep the sort of the verbal bombs to a minimum, then what?
Well, that would help enormously. And look, Democrats make gaffes too. The Senate candidate in Iowa insulted farmers. You know, so both sides make gaffes, but they are unpredictable.
Now, when in a midterm, smart guys like you remind me, it's the passionate voters who come out, and usually passionate voters who are angry, which would be the opposition party voters. So if you're a Republican and you're energized, you're going to turn out, you're going to try to build up those numbers in the House, try to flip the Senate. What do Democrats do? I mean, they might be frustrated, but they realize there's no method to sitting at home, right?
Yeah, and I tell you, the advantage Democrats have is they are about 1 light year ahead of the Republicans right now in terms of voter contact and get out the vote technologies. And what the Democrats are doing, and it's very smart, they're focusing a lot of their time and energy and money on identifying their voters and making sure that they vote early or that they get an absentee ballot or they get out. Because that's how they add, 2% to their totals. And in close Senate races, that could make a big difference.
How much of a difference does my little dirty purview make, Larry? That is Wall Street. It's been picking up steam. The economy, at least the quarter we're in, if we're to buy the numbers, will pick up some steam. In and out of records, a market that's doubled under the president's stewardship. Democrats will say, that's us doing that. Or is there a connection? The fact that so few individuals participate in the market to the degree they used to, so that it's falling on deaf ears. What do you think?
Well, here's the surprise, Neil. The economy we think of as the #1 issue, the pocketbook issue. That's actually true in presidential election years. It is not true in midterm years. If the economy is really bad, then the president's party gets absolutely hammered. But if the economy is good, it doesn't really help the president's party that much, particularly in the 6th year election. And that's what we're in, the 6th year of President Obama's administration. We often call it the 6th year itch, the itch for change.
Now, what about if you're just angry at whoever's in power? If you're angry at the way this vets thing is being handled, you're angry at scandals, you're angry at pompous Republicans as you are pompous Democrats. If you're in an anti-incumbent mood in some races, that could hurt the Republican too, couldn't it?
Well, it might, but generally those people, the people who are angry at both sides, just simply turn off rather than turn out. They don't vote. And what they really ought to do is see their doctor for a prescription. But they're not going to really vote in November. I don't think they'll have that much impact on the election. In a presidential year, they may come out. Midterm years, no.
Is any of this meant to be a future barometer for any future Republican candidate, in other words, or Democratic candidate, someone who Hillary Clinton has supported or Bill Clinton has supported or Paul Ryan or Chris Christie have supported, and that you guys like you look at, well, let's see their coattail effect or their oomph effect?
Well, they'll all claim that. You know that. And, of course, those of us who analyze elections, once Election Day is over, we have to have something to talk about. So we'll claim that these things are true. But try to remember a few months from now, it really isn't true. What happens in this midterm year doesn't tell us a lot about 2016. You know, the most common email I got, Neil, after the big Republican win in 2010 was, quote, "Even my dog can beat President Obama." Well, we found out what happened in 2012. There wasn't a connection between 2010 and 2012, and I suspect the same thing is going to be true for 2016.
Well, that dog was obviously watching CNN, I guess. I couldn't figure that out. Larry, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you very, very much. Larry Sabato.
Thank you, Neil.
Brilliant, brilliant mind and a nice guy.